So we have major updates in regards to the Johnathan Majors case and Ari Jacob. Stay tuned for that. Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'll go by the name of Dr. Heinz, and thank you so much for tuning in for another video. If you're new here, or if you're a returning subscriber, whoever you are, thank you so much for giving us your time and clicking on another one of my videos. Now, on this one is going to be two updates in one, as we usually do on the Heinz report. It just so turns out that Johnathan Majors was dominating one, but we have two reports to really update. They are really major updates. The first one is Johnathan Majors, and the second one is Ari Jacob versus Taylor Lorenz case. Let's get on to the Johnathan Majors case, because this report is it's monumental, and we're gonna get into it. As you may have known, I have been covering Johnathan Majors on this channel extensively from the 5th of April when the arrest happened, and provided a lot of evidence there of who the person or who the girl was, and also continue to update as the case gone on. All the videos can be found on the title card. They're all in a playlist, so you can binge on that. Now, in regards to the video, is basically an update that Johnathan Majors has actually filed or raised a complaint to the NYPD to go after Grace Jabari. And this was reported by Insider, by Laura Italiano, who has been really revealing all of the information. In fact, she was the person behind the last Insider article, where I got the letter that we dissected on the last show that we went into. It was on that article that was revealed that they have actually seen the video of the cab. They have gone and put their reputation on the line and say, yeah, it corroborates what Majors is saying. It is not as she has claimed has happened. Now, on this episode, on this one, they have now gone to police to pursue a criminal case or arrest in regards to Grace Jabari and for the for the assault of Johnathan Majors. So let's just get to the meat and potatoes of this case. So basically, it says on this Insider article that literally off the press yesterday at 4 a.m. I was still asleep. This is British Standard Time, so I was in bed. Actually, I was waking up in like 8 minutes later, so that's when my alarm is set. But it says that Marvel's Johnathan Majors has filed cross-complaint against its assault accuser. NYPD finds probable cause for arrest, sources say. The sources is actually direct from the NYPD, as we are about to read. It goes on to say Marvel's Johnathan Majors has filed an NYPD domestic violence complaint against his assault accuser and ex-girlfriend Grace Jabari. We know it's his ex because he's dating Megan Good, and this is possibly the main reason why this fight started, because it is no mistake. Now that we've learned who Megan Good is, there is no doubt in my mind that most likely was the text that she was saying it was my fault that they went for the film, blah yada yada yada. But he says in which she alleges that she attacked him, not the other way around. During a March 25th dispute on Chinatown Street corner, Majors remain charged in that dispute, with Jabari alleging Creed 3 and Marvel's Kang the Conqueror actor broke her finger, twisted her arm, and struck her in her ear, caused to bleed. Sorry about that. Majors has denied all the accusations, and August 3rd trial date has been set in Jabari's case against Majors. We have all of the updates in regards to why that was set for that day. Well, my hypothesis in the previous video. But on June 21st, the day after his last court date, Majors walked into the Chinatown precinct and gave police his own version of what actually happened that night, alleging that a drunk and hysterical Jabari scratched, slapped, and grabbed his face, causing pain and bleeding, according to a domestic incident report and a sworn affidavit. A second NYPD precinct, the one that covers Major's penthouse address in Manhattan's Chelsea neighborhood, is also involved in investigating the actor's counterclaims against Jabari, which Insider wrote about in detail last week. Both precincts found probable cause to arrest Jabari and issued what is called an incident card or an I-card, an electronic document that directs the police to Jabari into an electronic document that directs the police to take Jabari into custody, at least for questioning, according to Major's defense attorney Priya Chowdhury and a law enforcement source. Manhattan prosecutors who are pursuing the case against Majors were for some reason reluctant to turn the tables on Jabari, and at the district attorney office urging the high card was deactivated, the two said. I can think of a pretty good reason why this could be the case. The DA's office has repeatedly pushed back against investigating or charging Jabari, despite supporting evidence that includes surveillance camera footage of the street dispute, photos of Major's injuries. Chowdhury told Insider for last week's story. Chowdhury shared some of that evidence with Insider for that story. The DA's office declined comments, and NYPD did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Jabari could not be reached by email or phone. Chowdhury declined to comment by confirming that an I-card was issued and deactivated. That's where we will stop, because it goes into the history. You can go read down yourself. All the sources for this is going to be in the description for as it is for all the videos. But I just wanna. There's so many things that's raised there, because what has been reported is that NYPD is basically investigating this case, and they have, in all fairness, it's tough, because what we have seen here is they have been shown proof of what's happened. Based on what has been reported, they have enough to arrest. They have said this. They have even issued an incident card. The incident was open. It was deactivated. Priya said the same thing. So what's going on here? They're not even taking her in for questioning. So yes, they have lodged a complaint. Yes, they have acknowledged that this is actually credible. To me, this does seem like strategy, lawyering. Of course, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know any. I have a avid interest in the law. All of this is basically my opinion and my speculation, but I do believe this could be potential strategy, in the sense that they want to use whatever outcome is from that investigation in the trial against against that the prosecutors are brought against Majors. That's what it seems like. They have not gone for the arrest. It could be the case that if Majors was found not guilty, they could go for the arrest then. It could be the case of Courtney Clenny as well, who I have covered on this channel, because they didn't arrest her until like 4 or 6 months later, where they want to, and they had all the evidence that they needed, and then they pushed for the arrest. That said, in that case, it required a lot of pressure from the parents of Christian Obumseli, who was her victim, to come forward and basically pressure the police. I brought that in to say that the arrest may not be immediate, because they want to get as much information as possible. They may have wanted to interview the driver as well as the witnesses, and try and ascertain what they could. I don't know what it means for the card to have been deactivated. I don't know if that means that the case is closed, or they're not going to go for the arrest, but they are going to investigate, and then they might activate the card again. I have no idea. I don't know how it works. Hopefully someone who does do laws or know the laws in regards to NYPD can opine to that. But this drives home my point, and this drives home what I've been saying from the start of this case, right? And that is, wait for the evidence, wait for everything to come out, because based on the talking points on the previous videos that I said here, where people are like, oh, he's guilty already, Why would someone lie about this? So many things. Domestic violence is this and that. I just tuned that out because end of the day, he has now filed a complaint. You have to believe him. You have to, by your own standard. He is now a victim. He has went with a complaint, and the NYPD has not declined to press charges. They have not. It's literally just been reported. The hearing was on the 20th. He went after the hearing to go and, file this complaint to the NYPD. That was on the 21st. It is now the 27th, and an arrest has not occurred. The point, the blank fact is, he has complained. He has handed it in. By your narrative, if this was, you just have to flip the genders for a second. If this was a woman who has gone for the complaint and the police decided not to actually pursue the case, you will be crying a miscarriage of justice, or victims are not believed, this and that, because that is what happened with Justin Roiland case, which is what kicked off basically this series, because I reported both Majors and Roiland in tandem, because Roiland's case was dismissed. He wasn't even taken to the trial, and people in that case were still saying she's telling the truth. It doesn't mean she lied. It just means that the system has failed her, this and that. You gotta apply it here, because regardless, this is a black man who the system is failing yet again. Are we gonna play that card, or are we gonna be serious and just not convict somebody just based on what you read here? And it frustrates me that this has to be said, because this should be common sense. Do you want to go back to a time in which you can literally just say anything about anyone? She's a witch, he is a wizard, and that's it. They are rounded up, burnt at the stake. Like, let's be really honest about where we're going with this. Because if you're reading and believing everything that you're hearing without waiting for at least the other side to opine, the other side to say, have their say, if you're convicting people, and look at Majors, who has lost so much of his livelihood because of this. His momentum has been basically halted in the speed of dark. And it's really dark in this case, because this could have all turned out to be a malicious attack on him, because she did not like the fact that she was dumped or she was being replaced. It could be that malicious. But yet everyone rushed to believe what they read. The same way in which Ari Jacob, who Taylor Lorenz of the New York Times at the time, a well-known tech journalist at the time coming up, was writing an article on Ari Jacob. I say an article, and I'm being way too kind by saying an article. But it was a hit piece against Ari Jacob, who was a influencer manager. I'm butchering this, I'm getting it wrong, but she was managing TikTok talents, or such as Charlie D'Amelio, I pronounced that wrong, Brittany Tomlinson, and many more. She had 87 of them in her roster. Then the article hit, in which destroyed, and I mean categorically destroyed, her career, where she was alleging that she was not taking care of these children. They did not have basic living amenities. So many things were alleged, including Ari Jacob herself leaking nudes. She was quick to lose brand deals, lose so many things, and her business really drove to the ground, because in the entertainment industry, all you have is your reputation. That's it. Once that's gone, that's gone. And these were minors. A lot of people believe Taylor Lorenz, until Ari Jacob fought back and filed a defamation claim, filed complaint after complaint detailing everything that happened, where she even held back. She didn't know that she had to basically reveal all that she knew in the amended complaint to try and save the case, which to me seems like the almighty of comebacks. She posted everything in there, every evidence that she had. We covered this case in excruciating detail all the complaints, all of the evidence that has been listed in the second amended complaint, all of the declarations, people speaking that were not even linked to Ari Jacob, detailing how Taylor Lorenz actually is as a journalist and how she prints falsehoods without really caring, including a declaration from a former talent that used to be managed by Ari Jacob. This was insane to unpack and go through, and you can find all of that in the video, because in this development, Ari Jacob has actually had 1 complaint out of 5 has survived. That is amazing, because I was predicting 2, because there was allegations of cameras being installed without their consent, and there was allegations of leaking a minor, a 16-year-old minor's nudes onto the internet by Ari Jacob. I thought those cases would survive. I'm not going to go to the other statements, but I thought those cases would survive. Only 1. So the camera actually was dismissed, which was such a surprise to me, because I thought of all of it, those 2 statements would, but the judge had his reasons. But the nude claim was accepted and now is going to discovery. She has beaten the anti-slap ruling that is a staple in New York and really beefed up in 2018. So she's now going to trial, and I'm going to be covering that in great detail, because I am so happy right now. I am so happy for Ari Jacob, who has had falsehoods printed on them, and I'm hoping for Johnathan Majors that at least he could have some kind of retribution and an arrest could come for Jabari, because the precedent that all of this is setting, we already know that journalists feel untouchable because of how much protection that they have with the First Amendment right to speak, etc. But journalists have lost cases, and I will talk about those in future videos. And it is outrageous that something outrageous has to happen for them to be held accountable. And Taylor Lorenz has to be held accountable. Jabari has to be held accountable. You cannot just ruin someone's life with something that is unsubstantiated and unverified. And you cannot send a message to the next generation out there, young men. And I'm not talking any men that look like me, young black men, to look at somebody who has to go above and beyond to prove his innocence, to prove they did not do something, including having video evidence that the police even accept that it actually does corroborate his claims, and they issued a card to then be deactivated and be like, yep, we're not going to arrest. That to me sends a disastrous message for the next generation that says, listen, if a girl speaks out against you, we're not going to listen, we're not going to care, and we're not going to do anything, but we will tell you that you are right, and you have to deal with that. You have to hold on to that knowing that you were right, but we're not going to do anything about it. To me, society has to be equitable. We cannot use the past mistakes that has been made by the justice system to overcompensate and actually ruin innocent people's lives. It's not like Johnathan Majors has had prior arrest that is of the level of Dharma, for example. I don't know who I can think of right now. But like I've always said, the core of public opinion is a lot stronger than what the police could do. And this guy has lost everything just based on this report going out. And it is what it is. I am going to be updating on these cases as they go on. I'll continue to provide information on these cases. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for tuning onto this channel and actually watching it this far. Thank you for lending me your ears. So yeah, once again, thank you so much for tuning onto this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a great day and take care of yourselves. Be kind to each other, and I would love to hear your comments in regards to this video. I'd love to hear what you have to say in regards to this video, because I've said enough. I want to hear what you guys have to say, and I want to know what you guys think of both of these cases. I really implore you to look into them, because it is very interesting what is going on, and what these cases are showing of the society at large that we live in. Take care of yourself and have a great day. Bye bye.